Hello and welcome to Cast On, a knitting podcast where I talk about my finished objects, some whips, some yarn acquisitions and some more knitting stuff. Today is episode 11 and I'm your host. I am Ellie, I'm from Austria, and yeah, I really like knitting. Hence why we have this knitting podcast here. Thank you so much for joining me again. Hello if you are a new viewer. Like I said, I'm Ellie, this is me. Today is a bit of a gloomy day. I hope the lighting will be okay as well. I will try my best to keep it as stable as possible. So yeah, grab yourself some kind of drink, some beverage, and you're knitting, and I think we can get straight into it. For finished objects, start with the small ones. I have two completely finished objects and two like half finished to almost finished objects. So the first two finished objects are these two weird looking things. I went through my yarn the other day and I found some scrap yarn and I thought I really want to use it. I used this one in one of my pullovers I did at the beginning of the year, and this is Drops Air in a white colour and here in like a beigey colour, and I just had some leftovers, and I follow Inga from the Knitting Traditions on Instagram, and I don't know when she posted that. It must have been a while ago, but once she posted in her story what she does with some scrap yarns, and she makes headbands, like hair ties in a sense. So I thought I screenshotted that, and I'm not sure if she still has it in one of her story highlights or anything, but it's really simple. Essentially what you make is you start out with 2 stitches and you increase very rapidly on every row until you have like a width that you like, and then you just knit garter stitch and then you decrease very rapidly to give you this like this shape. What is it? Trapezius? Is that what it's called in English? I don't know. But you get this shape, and I made it in white, which is a bit wider, and in this beige colour like I said. This is a bit smaller and I had more yarn of this, so I made it longer. And the idea, I don't think I can tie my hair with this. I didn't realise how wide it would actually be, so it's a bit too wide as a hair tie for me. But I thought what I could do is, I've not blocked these yet, but what I will do is once they are wet I will stretch them to hell and back basically to get them as long as possible. With this one as well, this one is enough as a hair tie, but I think I would still like a bit longer, because what I thought I could do to combine these two is I could make a bow out of this one, because I really like this white, and I think you can make like a nice bow. What's a bow shape? I don't quite know, I have to look up how you tie a bow properly, but something like this, something along those lines. And I thought it would be kind of cute if I could either put this on the headband, hair tie, whatever you want to call it, and have it as like this with a little bow, or just as a hair tie. So yeah, these are the first 2 finished objects. Really simple, very quick, and it got rid of some of my scraps. Speaking of scraps, I want to ask you a question. I normally don't collect my scrap yarns. Like, I have a little bit left of both of this, maybe like that much of each. Do you collect them? I know some people put them in a jar and collect it, and then sometimes even tie it together to make like a scrappy sock. I'm not gonna make a scrappy sock. But I would be interested to know if you also collect your tails, I guess, or if you just bind them. So that would be interesting for me to know. The second, well, the first half finished object, should we say, is also a whip, because it's, you'll see what I mean by it. It is a mitten. Like I said, went through some of my yarn stash, found this yarn. This is WeAreKnitters, the petite wool in Ivory. I made my sweater number 9 out of this, and I have 2 skeins left, like I had 2.5 or something like that, and I made a mitten. This is a free pattern. This is the Tiilda, something like that, mitten, and I finished one. It's got this beautiful braid all along here, and yeah, it fits really, really nicely like that. I do have to say though, I did use the correct needle size, like what the pattern says. Look at these, looks really nice. I used the needle size the pattern recommends, and I had a look at some Ravelry projects where other people also use this yarn, and they also just use the same needle size. But what I found is this yarn is quite thick. It's like a bulky weight, I believe. It's like 10 or 14 stitches, something like that, something really chunky. And what I did to tighten the gauge, instead of changing the needle size, I just knit it tighter. So it's a bit tighter here. And the problem that I have now is that when I spread my palm like this, it is too tight, and you can see through the glove here. I don't know if that focused, probably not. So what I will do is I would definitely block this also to block out the cable and make it look all nice and shiny, and hopefully eliminate this really intense lathering that you can see. You can also have like a little thumb. And this is a great pattern. I came across it because I watched, oh, what's she called? I don't know, I'll put her name here. This is what she's called. She uploaded a video about gift knitting and ideas and patterns of things you can gift knit. And I saw this and I don't know, it just worked out great. This is my first, well, I made a mitten before, but I only made one, which is now why it's like a half finished project, because the other mitten is here. I have like this, you have the second sock syndrome, and I have that because I'm not really a sock knitter yet. I don't know if I will ever be, we'll see. I need to cast something on directly after I finish the first thing if I need a pair, otherwise I will never do it. I did that with my other mitten, can't even talk anymore, and yeah, that one just doesn't have a partner. I've used up the yarn, I don't really know what I'm going to do with it. Anyway, this is the second one. This is for the left hand, and I'm really not far off. I have this with me on my undergrad journey to uni, and then knit on it like twice, and I've basically completed it. Sorry, I got some fluff in my mouth. The only thing that is left to do with this one now is now I need to start the decreases to get this like rounded tip. You can see them here. Here's what they look like, and then just knit the thumb. The thumb was actually quite fun. I'm normally not a huge fan of magic loop, but for this I found it really enjoyable. Maybe because I am working on 5.5, 5mm needles, and the really long cord. This is 120 centimeters. The cord doesn't need to be this long. It's actually quite impractical on the underground because people will sit beside me and I have to like get the whole cord through on the other side. But I'm almost done with this, and I still have so much left of this yarn. The pattern recommended like 200 meters for a pair, and this was half a skein. For this one I'm almost done, and I still have like all of this left. So I don't know, maybe I got another one, a full one of these cakes. So I might either make another pair, or what I think I might also do is just make a hat. So I have like a complete set, a hat and some mittens. But I really don't know what else to do with this yarn, because it's not enough for a sweater quantity, and I feel like not a lot of people really use this yarn. But I don't know, that might just be my impression. So that was a finished object and a whip at the same time. That's why I'm saying it's half finished. I did try to finish at least the mitten part instead of just have the thumb left over to show you, but I ran out of time because I realized when I went to uni that I'm actually already ready to decrease, and I need my pattern in front of me for that. So that is that. And then my last kind of finished object, it's not fully finished, but I consider it finished. This is the Franky sweater by Sandnesgarn. This is what it looks like. I have 2 sleeves with a really nice cuff. Of course, none of the ends are woven in, as per usual. I got a second sleeve, and here I got the bottom. The problem I have is, so I tried this on. A few things. First of all, let's start like this, the yarn. I am using Drops Kid Silk in this really dark grey. This is colour number 22. And Wollyknit 100%, sorry, 100% British wool from a cone in charcoal. So it's this grey colour here. It's not black, it's actually grey, and it makes this gorgeous fabric. It's super fluffy. I really like it. I'm holding 1 strand of each together on 4mm needles, and the pattern tells you to fold the collar down and sew it down, but I'm actually not sure because I quite like it standing up. Now if you follow me on Instagram, which you should definitely do, I posted a picture of me wearing it without it folded down, and then once with it folded down, and I asked, what do you prefer? And I would like to know that as well, so you can either head over to Instagram or let me know down below in the comments. I'll just try this on very quickly to show you my dilemma. Super fluffy, super cozy. I am very happy that I made this and I used this combination. So this is what it looks like, and this is where the collar standing up, and this is what it's supposed to be when I fold it down. So it's like a crew neck. I don't know, what do you think? Folding it down, sewing it down, or letting it high? I actually am quite sensitive with mohair around my neck. Like, it's super itchy, I can't have it normally. But for this I might make an exception because I like it so much. I really don't know, I might just leave it high for the moment and then see how I like it, and with time maybe I'll sew it down. I don't know. Someone suggested on Instagram that I could like sew it down. No, that I knit it double to like double the height on top of this and then sew that down so I still have a high neck to make it stiffer. But I don't know, I think I might leave it like that for now. Now my other dilemma is So these are the sleeves. I made some decreases which were not in the pattern because you're supposed to have like a tapered sleeve, and the cuff, it's a pretty good length. Normally I like to drown in my sweaters, but I mean width wise I am, because this is what my bust size is. But I hope that with blocking I might just be able to get it a little bit longer. Now the thing why this is like half, not even half finished, it's like 90% done, is now I know why I don't see anything. Need my glasses. Is this. So right now it just hits my hip bones. Here you have my high-waisted, well here's my belly button, so it's where the button here is. So it just hits my hips. I don't know if I want it longer, or I quite like the look of having a cropped sweater that is a bit oversized, because this is quite wide and then you kind of go in because of the ribbing. But I don't know if I want it longer, because I do know with this yarn, especially with the 100% wool one, is that it blooms a bit, but it doesn't stretch a lot after blocking. So it would probably grow width-wise, but not length-wise. And I don't really want to stretch it that much, because that would also mean that my arms would get, like my armhole would get deeper. And I quite like it like this. So I don't know. I've not decided yet, but I do consider this a finished object, even though it is still on my needles and the yarn is all attached and everything at the ends and not woven in. But I think I'll keep the high collar, and I think I will knit just a tiny bit longer, maybe like 2 or 3 rows. The problem with this is that down here, probably can't see because it's black. I don't know if you can see. It is a twisted rib, and I am super slow with twisted rib. I don't really enjoy it. It hurts my wrist. It looks fantastic. It looks incredible. I love the visual effects it gives you, but actually knitting it and making it, I hate it. So that's why I'm super slow, because the circumference is so big that it takes me a while to do one round without completely wrecking my wrists. So I think the conclusion for this, still tell me if you like the higher or the sewn down version, and if I should make it a little bit longer or not. I would be interested in that. Oh, it looks so good. I can't wait to properly wear it and have it incorporated in my wardrobe. This yarn, I do have a lot more leftovers than what I thought I would, because I did go with the meterage the pattern suggested, but because I didn't follow the pattern to a T, I said quite a few things in my last video, my last podcast episode, so if you're interested in that, on what modifications I did, I also posted some on Ravelry on my page. You can go and check that out. But essentially I did not make it as deep as it's supposed to be, like armhole depth wise, and I changed the sleeves a little bit. And what else want to say? Oh yeah, I have quite a lot of this. I still have one whole cake. I don't know how much the cake, I think, oh, I got more than one, because this is almost a full one, and I see I got a whole one, and I still got some leftovers from the sleeves. The thing is, what I'm trying to say, put it that way, is that I think with the leftovers, because I do have so many, I will make an Oslo hat. I've purchased the pattern, I see it everywhere, I think it looks great for a hat, and I really want one, and I think I could be really cool and matching, and I could also give these away if I can get more out of them, out of the quantity that I have. I don't know how much you need, I don't know how much it actually takes, what the sizes are, etc. But that is just my thought process, that I will just use this combination as well for an Oslo hat, to use that up, because I love the yarn. The yarn is fantastic, and I don't think my forehead is sensitive. That looks so strange. I don't think my forehead is that sensitive to mohair, at least not as much as my neck. So these were my finished objects, and I think now we can go over some whips. I do have quite a lot. Not all of them bring me sorry, mohair. Not all of them bring me the same amount of joy as others do. But let's start with the first one. I've not really worked on this, I believe. I don't really know. I'm so confused because of everything else that's going on. The first one is this tote bag that I'm making. It's just some scrap yarn that I have. It's just bought in a commercial, yeah, well, it wasn't even a yarn store. This is supposed to be 100% wool. I've talked about it many times. The plan with this is to felt it. So I'm making this massive, and it really is massive now, rectangle. And let's get this on some stitch holders. Oh my gosh, it's so big. Maybe if I hold it upside down it's better. Yeah. So here are the corners. I just made a strip at the bottom and then just connected it to make it in the round, and it looks like ice cream. Or if you are British, then this might remind you of these lollipops. What are they called? It's like strawberry and vanilla, and it's on a stick. It's like a square and it's on a stick, and when you bite it, it's like toffee or mawam kind of texture. What are they called? I can't remember, but they also look like this. So this is what it looks like. The reason why I have to make it so big is because when you felt it, you will have to expect it to shrink about 40%, I read. I haven't measured my swatch how much it shrunk, because I really don't care about this yarn. I don't really care about the outcome either. It's probably way too big looking at it like this now, but I still need a good portion to go, because if that's the, is that the bottom? Let's put it this way. If that's the bottom, then I only have this much of bag, and if I have this to expect it to shrink, I would only have that much fabric, and that's not a lot. So I need to work more on it. I'm working on 3.5mm needles, I believe, and it's just plain stuck in it, just round and round and round. And yeah, I don't know how much I showed you last time. I can't remember. I might have worked on it, I might not have. Who knows these days? Who knows? But I thought that I would be able to finish this for this episode. I thought wrong, because university hit. I will tell you about it a bit later on if you're interested in that, what's going on in my life. But it's quite stressful and I don't really have that much knitting time, so this has really been on the back burner because I put a lot of effort into my Franky sweaters to get that done, but obviously it's not fully done. But yeah, first whip. Second whip was my mitten, which I've already showed you. Then third whip, all got these really nice tote bags. I love storing my whips in tote bags because you've got these really long straps to just tie and be done with it. This is a sweater for my boyfriend. This is a free pattern by Drops. and it's called Dreams of Aran, and it's growing. It is a cable sweater, and like I said, I make it for my boyfriend in drops Karisma in this light grey colour. I don't have a label with me, I think. Oh, there it is. Drops Karisma is 100% wool, and it's colour 44. I think it's something like light grey, something along those lines. And this has been a joy to knit on after you get into the zone. It still takes me a while to finish one repeat because it is a free pattern, so I can talk about it freely. But you have a 8-row repeat, and you twist these small cables every fourth row, because you knit 3 rows in between, and the big one every 8th row, and in between you have the honeycomb. And the honeycomb, if it focuses, no, the honeycomb is really what wrecks my wrists. I'm fine with all the other cables, but the honeycomb is what takes me the longest, because this is the first time that I am knitting cables. Like I said, I really enjoy the process, but I am very slow. My wrists are not used to that. But what really helped is making that mitten, to kind of get into the groove, to get my wrists into a different position that it's not been in before. So I kind of forgot about this in a sense, because I knew it would take me so long to get through one repeat, that I really need to start picking it up. The only thing is that at night we like to have the lights off to save electricity and stuff, as most of us are now. And when we are watching stuff, I need light. With stuff like this, I need to see what I'm doing. I can't just knit on this and just have the light from the laptop. So that's why I've not really worked on this that much, for that reason. The yarn is really nice. I don't have a problem with it at all. Oh yeah, these are 4mm needles as well. This is the recommended yarn size, needle size and yarn, just combine them. Everything recommended by drops. I'm not too sure about my gauge. I didn't gauge swatch. I just made the smallest size possible for my boyfriend. I definitely need to block it once it's done. This is also, as you can see, worked bottom up. So this is the body part. I still have a lot to go, because that's maybe a quarter now of the body. Not really sure, because you're supposed to increase, and I've increased 4 times now, and I think you need 6 increases in total. But I'm worried of making it too long, and then I block it, and then it become even longer. So I've not really figured that out, what I'm gonna do once I'm finished with the body. Also, I think knitting the sleeves will be a challenge for me, because like I said with the mitten, I don't like to do things twice. And you do need 2 sleeves, so it's whether I make it at the same time, or if I start one now whilst this is still on my needles, to have like a variety, so that I finish the sleeve and then I finish this and then I finish the other sleeve, or if I start with both. I've not decided yet. Also because I've not really got the brain power right now. I have so many things to think about. I just want a bit of mindless knitting, and this has become very mindless, to be honest. I figured out where my rows start and end, on what row I'm on which repeat section and stuff. So this has been really enjoyable, and I think this afternoon I will pick this back up and knit a few rounds. like I said before in my other episodes, I'm not stressed with this project at all. My boyfriend doesn't have any expectations. I am aiming for Christmas to have it done by then, because I would really like for him to still enjoy a warm sweater, especially a cable knit sweater, whilst it's still cold and wintry. So I hope to be done by then with it, but we'll see, because I have a few gift knits coming up. Anyway, more about this in a second, but I will just talk to you a little bit about my last whip, and this is a completely new cast on because I just wanted, well, I'm finishing up my, oh dear, it's a mess. I'm finishing up my Franky sweater, so I needed a new project, something a bit mindless for myself again, and not just like small projects, not just accessories. Oh, what have I done? Well, I guess whilst I try to untangle this mess that I made, I can talk to you a little bit about the yarn. So, or the pattern, I guess. Oh, there it is. This is the new project. Hang on, where's the... This is the front. Like this. This is the Cargill sweater. Why won't it focus today? Yeah, there we go. This is the Cargill sweater by Rebecca from the Creabea podcast. I talked about this in my autumn knitting patterns and my knitting plans, that I would really like to make this because I think the design is beautiful. I know other people have other opinions, but I just really want to have it for myself. And the yarn that I'm using is Sandnesgarn Sunday in the color code 4621, and Drops Kit Silk in the color 5. So the Sunday yarn from Sandnesgarn, there we go, is this. It's very bright. It's not that bright. Can I? No. There we go. That's better. It's not as purple either. It's a lavender color. That's what I would describe it as. It's a very light lavender color, and I really like it. I've had this in my stash for a while as well now, because I bought it when one of my yarn shops had their sales going on for the Sunday yarn. So I bought this one, which is a fingering weight, and because I didn't want to hold this double, or I bought a sweater's quantity, but because it's fingering weight you need to pair it with something, I bought Drops Kit Silk in this color, which is like a deep purple. Again, it's very fluffy. It's a deep purple, and these are very different. You can just see it. This is not lavender, this is something called like heather or something, I can't remember, but this is definitely not that colour, which is fine. I do have to say though, I am a little bit disappointed, but I want this sweater so badly that I don't really care about the yarn, like the fabric it creates anymore, because it still looks nice. It's a dip stitch pattern, and it kind of blows out. It looks a lot purple, a lot more purple than in real life, because what happens in real life is that it's not one solid colour. You can definitely see that there are two colours, and in my opinion the Sunday yarn washes out quite a lot and it looks more grey than actually purple, which is a shame because I thought that they would look quite nice together. I mean, they still do, but you can definitely see that it's handmade and that it's, which is not a bad thing, of course, but it's not ideal, let's put it that way. It's not ideal. The reason for that is because I ordered this one online, the Kid Silk Mohair, and online it appeared a lot less purple, so I thought this would actually be this color, but it turned out it's actually this, like that's the real color. But I'm fine with it. I cast this on about 2 days ago or something, and I really enjoyed it. The beginning of the sweater was a proper brain fart moment for me. I don't know, I know other people, especially the test knitters, said that the beginning is like the hardest part of the pattern, and I can definitely agree on that. I thought it was just impossible for me. I was very close to giving up, but I've not, so because I quite like it. What else to say about the pattern? This is the first pattern that Rebecca has released. She will release a few more over the following months, which I'm all excited for, because I really like her. I really like her podcast, and I really like her designs, just like this one. And when she showed it the very first time, I knew I had to make it. And yeah, the only thing with the dip stitch is, again, I don't know if it's me, but I'm very slow. I'm very worried of stretching out the stitches, because you have a dip stitch and then you have one like pearl bump, so pearl knit pearl, and it's very, as you can see through. I'm worried that the dip stitch, when you make the dip, it stretches it out way too much, that when it blocks it will expand so much that you can see through, which I really don't want. I tried to fix that, because to do the dip you need to go through a stitch and you need to pull up the yarn through the back side, and I tried to do that with once the right needle and once the left needle. With the right needle, of course, you kind of have to go backwards on yourself, so you stretch out the next stitch, but even doing it with the left needle instead, it didn't really help. So I'm a bit frustrated, and like I said, very slow. The repeat is very easy, it's very easy to remember, and I think that this might be my next underground project to work on whilst I go to places, because it's not super complicated, it's relatively quick to go around, a lot quicker than my cable sweater, or like the one I'm working on. But we'll see. You also work on 4mm needles, which is my preferred needle size, and yeah, I quite like it so far. I hope that once it gets a collar, it will also look a lot better than just this blob. But I think I will make the collar once I'm a bit further along to see really what it's like. I didn't gauge swatch. I know this is probably super bad, but I just really want the sweater. I just want the product definitely more than the process for this one. And I think maybe this is a wrong thing to think, but in my opinion it's always easier to stretch something through blocking, and so making a garment smaller and then being able to block it and stretch it, instead of the other way around. Because once you make it big and then you block it and it gets even bigger, you cannot reverse it, but when something's too small you can block it to make it fit. So that is my approach, at least, that if this is too small I can just block it and I can just stretch it, because I know that this stitch is supposed to stretch anyway. So I'm kind of relying on that if it's too small. I chose a size 2, I think, and that was on purpose. She does recommend choosing the size bigger, a size bigger than what you would normally choose for yourself, because of the ease if you want like a looser fit. because the ease is quite limited. But I was like, I want it quite fitted. I have so many super loosey-goosey sweaters that I just need something tighter on my body to hug my figure, so I can actually wear skirts and dresses with it without looking absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, that is my Cargill. Get a sip of my tea. I'm drinking out of my favorite mug. I got this mug from my mum for my 18th birthday, I think it was, or 19th. And I'm drinking the tea from Twinings. I don't know if anyone knows the vanilla flavour. Why did I want to say scent? Vanilla flavour tea. That's the one I'm drinking. I love it, and I got a little bit of milk inside, well, in it, and it's the perfect temperature now. So firstly, I just remembered whilst I looked back here that last time I used to have a sock project on my needles, and thank you so much for everyone who commented down below and helped me out with my problem that I had concerning the needle size what everyone is using. I really appreciate it, and I decided to to unravel my sock and reuse the yarn once I get the correct needle size, because a lot of people said they use 2.5mm needles and I don't have them, and I would really like the Adi Sockenwunder. It's the small circular ones. Don't have them here, but my sock was on them last time because I only have 3mm, and they're really difficult to get. I don't know why, but in Austria it's really difficult to get these needles, so I have to order them in, and I've not decided yet because it's very interesting how it's more expensive to get something delivered from Germany, which is literally a country beside Austria. We share a border with them. This is more expensive than if you would get something from France, which I'm not too sure if that's such a great thing to have because of the environmental aspect. But hey, I'm not making these postage prices up, so guess it's not up to me. Long story short, I have a yarn shop in France that sell a specific type of yarn that I really want to try. It's the Hillesvåg Tiilda. Inga, again from the Knitting Traditions podcast, she uses this yarn all the time. It's probably her favorite yarn, and I really want to try it because I want to see what the fuss is about, really. And this yarn shop in France, they do have it. Again, it was really difficult to find that as well, but they do also have the Adi Sockenwunder needles in the sizes that I actually need. So I was thinking of getting some yarn and ordering the needles with the order. But then I thought I don't need yarn right now because I only just came back from England about a month ago. I bought quite a lot of yarn. I actually need to save some money for a new phone because my phone's all broken, and I'm waiting for November to come round to get a new phone. So I thought I actually can't really afford to get more yarn, so I've not done it yet. I'm still on the fence. I will do it because I really want those needles, but instead I got some round, like fixed circular needles. Also, these are also quite difficult to find. I really don't know why. I want a good pair of 2mm needles and 2.5, and I really want to get the Chaigu needle set, the short ones, 2 and 3 inches. It's like the red set, and I will probably get that for myself for Christmas, or a family member or whatever. as my Christmas present. So I'm kind of wanting to hold back on buying all these different needles if I know I will actually buy a set, because I like to have interchangeables a lot more than having fixed ones. But then I went to the yarn shop yesterday. Not yarn shop, fabric shop, sorry. They do also have some yarn, but nothing that really interests me. It's my favorite fabric shop here in Vienna, and I found these. These are 2mm round fixed circular needles. They are very thin. I don't know even what cord length this is. It, like the length itself, it might be 40 centimeters. I don't know. I've not taken them out because I wanted to show you. And the reason why I bought these, I know for socks I need 2.5mm needles, but the ones that I did find were almost like 10 euros, and I thought, well, why would I want to spend 10 euros when I know I want to get an interchangeable set? So I'd rather take that money that I would have spent on them and put it towards what I actually want. But this was only €1, so you really can't go wrong. Like, €1 is not a lot for a needle set, well, for one pair of fixed circulars, so there's nothing lost in my opinion. Let's take them out. I hope that I can get the socks now. Also, the reason why I wanted to have fixed circulars is because I really do not want DPNs. I do have a set. I bought it off Amazon at the very beginning when I started knitting. It's actually right here. I made this case to have them all like nicely whatever. That's what they look like. Boo! They are bamboo, and I lost some needles. I have no idea where they went. And it's a really awkward size as well, because it's a size that I need quite often. So I do have metal ones here, 4mm needles, and then they're just the bamboo ones, but they are really not great. I knitted my boyfriend's jumper that I made him, the Norwegian Scandinavian looking like one, with like the sleeves with these DPNs, and it really snagged the yarn. And at that time, obviously I didn't know anything really about what it's supposed to feel like, what it's supposed to be. I made a lot of mistakes with that jumper, let's be honest, but I do have quite a few. They were just really cheap because I wanted to get a big variety. So they are there, but I just don't enjoy working on it. I think just the fixed circular is easier. So yeah, 2mm needles. Hopefully I can make these socks with this yarn. They might be too small now. I don't know, maybe I can play around with the tension and make the tension looser to actually fit 2.5mm. I don't know, maybe I will not start a sock at all, because I've tried this now at least 4 or 5 times and it's never worked out. Who knows? So that was my first and also last acquisition at the same time, because like I said, I wanted to save some money, but probably next time you will see some more yarn, because I will gift knit this year. I have promised a friend of mine that I would make her a vest, and this is where I need your help as well. Please let me know down below your favorite slip over pattern. I looked into a few. I think I just want a plain stockinette one, nothing fancy. It's supposed to have a crew neck, and I don't want to work on super chunky needles. Like, holiday slip over from Petite Knit, great pattern, but not for me. I don't like the look of it. it might be great for others, but I don't want to make that one. So yeah, please let me know down below which one is your favorite, if you have any recommendations, or if you think that what I just described to you would be a great fit, then let me know down below. I would really appreciate it. And this is also why I will get some yarn probably next time. She still hasn't replied about what colour she wants, but I'm probably guessing something neutral, because you can't really go wrong with neutral. And I'm also thinking about making her second one if I have the time. So this will be a Christmas present, and she lives in England. She also is from England, so I will have to ship it over to her, and I might make her another one, because I asked if she likes texture or cables, and she said, well, she likes the look of it, but she let me decide. So I think what I could do is I could make one plain stockinette one, and the second one as a surprise gift, I could make like one with a cable or like a really cool stitch, because I found, could have been petite knit, one has like a broken ribbed stitch pattern. That was very awkward. So yeah, let me know down below. Also, some more live stuff if you are interested. Uni has started, is really kicking me in the backside. I have so many things to do, quite a lot of courses, and I am very stressed. I don't really find the time to do a lot of knitting. I try to squeeze it in as much as I can when I can, but we all know life is stressful, life is hectic. Yeah, I don't want to ramble on about it, because I've said it so many times now on Instagram how stressful uni is. But I really want to graduate in January. That's what I'm working towards. I have 7 or 8 courses left. I'm currently doing 6 of them, so I still have another 2 to come. What really worries me is Spanish. I only started learning Spanish a year ago. I am supposed to be at B2 level. If anyone's not familiar with language levels, you start with A1, then you progress to A2. So A1 is like really basic stuff, saying hello, my name is blah blah blah, I'm this and this years old, I live here, you know, really basic stuff. Then you progress on to A2, where you can already say a bit more, like you have more topic specific things, like what my wardrobe is called, what the streets directions are called, stuff like this. And then you, after A2, you go to B1 and then B2, which is already a very high level, because C1 and C2 are the last ones, and C2 is native level. C1 can also be considered native already. It's very high. You're really good at that level. I'm supposed to be B2, so I'm like supposed to be one level below almost native, and I'm nowhere near this. It's really stressing me out. I don't have anyone to practice with. I have so many other things that I can't focus on it either. So because I'm doing business and economics, which is what I'm studying, I need to know all about the economical words in Spanish, and it's very difficult for me. So yeah, that is kind of stressing me out. Then I got another course which is super boring. It's like 4 hours long and it's always dragging. I hate going to that one, but thankfully it will be done in about 3 or 4 weeks. So thank the Lord for that. And yeah, those were my university courses. Another thing, so my mum moved to Vienna as well for a new job, and I met up with my mum last week, and it was really nice. We went out to go to a restaurant, we had some pizza, and I paid, which made me really happy because she normally pays for everything. And I think once you grow up, you really want to give back to your parents, and that's really what I want to do. I want to help her, I want to support her in all aspects, and it made me really happy that she would let me do that for her. So that was really nice. And I forgot to say last time, I've been to my hometown, I've been to Graz, and I've been to a party, and it was my party. So that's probably something, I don't know if a lot of people know that. I've been a Girl Scout pretty much all my life, since I was like 9 or 10 I started, so that's about 10, 12 years ago, even longer than that, Christ. A long time ago. I've been a I've been a Girl Scout for a long time now, and because I am at an age now where we don't meet weekly anymore, we have this big party which we organize. It's always generation wise. So everyone in my generation would help me plan the party, because it will be our party, because it will be our goodbye in a sense. But because of the pandemic, we didn't have a party for so long that we always had to postpone everything, and it finally happened 3 years later when the party was supposed to happen. It finally happened. It was so nice seeing everyone else, because I grew up with these people. I met them on a weekly basis, especially the people that are my age, that are in the same generation as me, and it was really nice seeing the older ones, which helped me in my time when I was a scout, and also seeing the younger ones, which I've probably not seen for a very long time as well. So it was really nice. I've been out super late. I've been out till about 3:45, and then it was just right. It was just really nice. So you have like the big party, and we offer food and drinks, and you obviously have to pay for them. So we could get like the money back for what we bought. That's like the whole concept. Sorry, that's the whole concept of it, and then whatever is left over will go towards the next generation with their party. So it's like a cycle. And yeah, I've been out till 4:45 a.m. in the morning. It was a very long day. Luckily I didn't have a lecture that day. I was supposed to have one, but then the professor got corona, so he cancelled it, which helped me in organizing and making the day a lot less stressful than what it would have been. So I went on the train going home. We had the party. It was a lot of fun. Met a lot of people. I talked to a lot of people, and then my brother escorted me home, one could say. He helped me get back home, because it's not very far from where I used to live, the scouts place, so you can walk it in like 10 minutes. But at 4 in the morning, it's probably not the best idea to be out alone as a woman in a rather sketchy area where there's not a lot of light and a lot of street light. So I was quite thankful for him to do that, even though it wasn't planned. But yeah, that was also really nice to see him, because I don't get to see him a lot either, because he doesn't live in the same city. But yeah, that was that. And I think that might be everything. I think I might have now bored you to tears. Hopefully not. Hopefully you're still there. I don't know. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to comment down below which best slip over pattern is your favorite, which one you recommend. I hope you have a great day. I hope you have a lot of knitting time. I hope your projects are going well as well. And yeah, join me on Instagram if you would like and subscribe to this video. It would make me really happy if you stick around, have a look through my other stuff, and I'm gonna see you next time. Bye!